The Umhlathuze Municipality has lashed out at President Cyril Ramaphosa and Public Enterprises Minister Pravin Gordhan for allegedly failing to address the congestion of trucks on the N2 highway leading to Richards Bay Port, which faces backlogs with the cargo. Ntando Mnyandu is live for us from Northern KwaZulu-Natal. And Ntando, you've been there for almost the entire day and you are still there for us at the spot. What is the situation at the moment? Any changes?
Well, as you correctly put it, we are here. We've been here since early this morning, trying to get an understanding of how things work around here with the trucks coming in to the port of Richards Bay and leaving, because what is important at the time that these trucks would then spend, queuing to going into the port and also being processed and go out. But what we are trying to do this evening is to give our viewers and the Umhlathuze residents an understanding of what happens during the night. As you can see behind me, trucks are still continuing trickling in as I step out of shot, allowing my colleague to give you an understanding of what is currently happening. You would see that there are trucks that are still parked there. Those trucks are filled with coal and chrome. They are destined for the port of Richards Bay. They have been here for quite some time. You would see that there are traffic officers from the city of Umhlathuze. You'll see a traffic official vehicle just next to me. And if my colleague would pan far to his right, you would see that there are police traffic officers who are manning the area. These traffic officers are paid for by the city of Umhlathuze, which is crying out and saying they've depleted the amount of funds they have for overtime payments. But at the end of the day, these officials are needed to control traffic and maintain order, 24/7 along the John Ross Parkway and the N2. But we also spoke to the director of South African Freight Forwarders, Mr. Mike Wowen, who cried out, about the state of railways in the country, saying that this problem that we are seeing now, is as a result of a failing railway network in the country, because he says most of these commodities are not meant to be actually transported via our roads, but they are supposed to be transported through a railway network. Let us dip into him as we spoke to him earlier on, categorically stating that it will take at least up to March next year for this problem to improve.
A lack of investment and maintenance in the ports themselves. So they are all short of equipment, and what there is hasn't been well maintained. Now, on the plus side, we are seeing promising signs over the last couple of weeks from Transnet. They seem to have got a sense of the urgency, and it is hugely urgent. I mean, this is potentially worse than Eskom, and I think they're getting that idea. So they're promising now, for example, that by the end of December, they will have started placing orders for the equipment that's needed. And they can't wait any longer than that, because this stuff doesn't come off the shelf. Some of it has to be made to order, and it doesn't happen over a week or two. There's no magic wand here that says we're going to fix it. My best guess is we could start seeing some improvements, not a complete fix, by the end of March.
Well, that is Mike Wowen, the director of South African Freight Forwarders, giving us an insight that, the business sector is hardly hit by, these delays that we are witnessing here in the port of Umhlathuze. It's not only the port of Umhlathuze that is battling high volumes of cargo. Also the port of Durban, is also experiencing quite a similar scenario that we are seeing playing out here in Umhlathuze. They've even issued a statement earlier on today saying that Well, they've tried to improve one of their container terminals. It's Pier 1, saying that the volume of containers that they are processing per day, are slowly approaching double digits, as they are trying to ease the congestion of containers. But here in the city of Umhlathuze, the city is bearing the brunt of these trucks that are hawking the N2 freeway and the John Ross Parkway, with the mayor saying that they've actually exhausted funds, to try and pay for overtime. Let us dip into the mayor, Mr. Xolani Ngwezi, as we caught up with him earlier on.
The president indeed was here in the city. Everyone has heard the commitment that the president has made. But obviously, as of now, we have not started seeing the fruits. The minister was here, he engaged with us. And really, engagement is continuous. There are some of the proposals that the port has put forward. The CM had just briefed me this morning. And we are therefore then going to consult with structures of council. Council is sitting on the 7th to decide on whether some of their proposals can the city agree or it can't agree. So at this time, the letter of demand is still in existence, and when the council sits on the 7th, we will then decide whether we are proceeding or we are not proceeding, or we are taking the views from the city, which will see us really getting assisted, because all stakeholders must play their part. We pay 1.6 million rand on overtime to our staff, the traffic officers. And now that's why I'm saying we no longer have that money, because for 2 months you pay about 3.2 million rand in 2 months. In 4 months, 5 months, you are sitting at about 6.4 million rand. So we are really depleted. And you have heard the Minister of Finance saying all government institutions must make sure that they cut budget cuts. So if we don't cut this expenditure, we will come to a point where we are unable to produce a service to our people.
All right, we are still in Umhlathuze with Ntando. Ntando, just to pick up on what your conversation with the mayor a little bit earlier on. I mean, do you feel like there is an attempt to get this matter solved, or the impasse that we are having with national government and the mayor's office, if I can, or the city, is delaying this process?
Well, when there's been efforts. There are quite a number of closed session meetings that have been, conducted with the mayor of Umhlathuze, the whole municipal council, and with Transnet, officials, with the Minister of Public Enterprise and the President even coming and sitting in one of those meetings. But the problem runs deeper than just meetings, when, as you would know, that these ports thrive on commodities that are channeled in through railways. Now, with the aging infrastructure, rail infrastructure, it's hard to come up with a clear solution that will just cut the problem away and then we see an improvement overnight. With Mike Woolwin even saying that there is sort of like no formula that could be employed that will give us immediate results. The willingness to solve the problem is there, but the time frame for the problem to be solved seems to, it will be quite a prolonged one. But now people who will be carrying the brunt for this are the locals and truck drivers themselves, because having to spend a night out in the cold, with no clean water, you would take days before you even get a bath. So that is quite a disturbing situation. But the willingness to solve the problem is there, but it's going to be a long one, Kwena.
And I mean, just finally then, you touched on the issue of the drivers themselves. What state are they in? Have you had a chance to speak to some of them? Understandably, they are stuck at that particular point. But what sort of situation are they in when you engage with them on a person-to-person basis?
Well, when we've engaged with quite a number of them, but as you would know, they are associated to different companies who have different protocols to follow if you want to get a comment. But, speaking to them on a one-on-one basis, as we would walk up to them as they are parked here, they are saying they are scared for their lives. It's just that they need the job. They cannot desert the job, but they are scared for their lives. As when police officials knock off, they'll be left alone, stranded. They are saying that there are even criminals who come and take chances, rob them of their belongings, threaten them, at times even steal diesel from their trucks. So it's not a good situation for truck drivers who have to spend days on end out in the cold as they wait to try and find a spot inside the Richards Bay port for them to offload their commodities.
Right, Ntando, we're going to have to leave it there, but thank you as always for keeping us up to speed. That is Ntando, who is at the spot there, and can understand that the situation needs to improve. Firstly, for the road to be alleviated, the pressure there, and also for those goods to be delivered to their destinations, and for drivers also to get an opportunity to go home.